When Paul and I first got together, we had those conversations fairly early around having children. He has a daughter from a previous relationship, and for me, I always kind of wanted to be a mom. Those conversations ended up leading us to a fertility clinic. For everyone in the fertility world, this embryo was a 4AA. We nicknamed her Battery. Everything was supposed to be perfect.
We kind of felt like we were through the hard part.
Yeah. We were at 11 weeks, just shy of that 12-week mark is when I had, they say it's morning sickness, but I think they should reframe that term, because for me it was all day, 24/7 sickness. I dissected my carotid artery from throwing up so much, which then caused a clot, which then the next time I threw up launched a clot into my brain and caused a stroke.
Started the day kind of thinking that something's not right with Patrycia, and then on that drive from the school to the hospital was when you had a seizure in the car, which is incredibly scary.
I woke up in the ambulance. He was asking me what my name is, and the first thing I said to him was, I'm 11 weeks pregnant. Please make sure the baby's okay. We hadn't really told anyone yet because it was just shy of that.
Having to tell your dad in the emergency room that why we're not getting a CT was because you're 11 weeks pregnant. So despite you having a stroke and a seizure, the baby was still healthy and okay. And
the next thing on our sort of checklist was the anatomy scan that we had booked, and went into that again pretty excited, and it took a turn pretty quickly, I would say.
Very shortly after, we were put into a separate room with a box of Kleenex on the coffee table, and kind of left to sit there for 15 or 20 minutes before a doctor finally came in and explained to us what was going on. And
just even to sit here and list some of the stuff, I think it would take most of this video. In terms of the support that we had an MRI almost immediately on the baby. We had an appointment with, I think, 3 or 4 different specialists: pediatric neurosurgeon, a pediatric neurologist, a geneticist, like everyone you can imagine. The more that we learned, the more we came to the realization that we were going to lose this baby. My grandma's name was Elena.
My grandmother was Helen.
But like French pronounced more like Elena, right? And then my mom goes by Ella, so we went with Elena. We weren't sure if she was going to be born alive or not, and she ended up being born alive, and she lived for a couple minutes and then passed away in my arms. And I really just hoped that all that she knew with this world, that she was here, was that we loved her so much. Again, I was also quite fortunate because I think I had at least 1 or 2 people that I knew decently well that were on shift, and even when I had left, they had sent me messages saying like, we'll take care of her.
I think everyone at the hospital was just, on that ward specifically, were just absolutely incredible as well too. Just amazing people. How much they guided us through that journey, because it was difficult. Nobody is prepared to navigate through that, and they did it with a great deal of professionalism, but also compassion.
Even the box that we got, like with the teddy bears and the blankets, like just having that to hold on to, like I can't explain it, because otherwise you'd be leaving with nothing. With the cremation, there was very little for us to have to think about, and I think that made a huge difference. I don't think people realize that some of the funeral homes cover the cost.
I think as much or more than the cost, it was just how easy and comfortable they made the process at a very difficult time. A lot of the decisions were very simple, and they did a lot to care for us during the process to make it as seamless and stress-free as possible.
There was so many things just kind of spoke to me, and just ways to honor her. Like, your dad and stepmom were so kind to buy us this memorial bench, and while in the hospital, I opened up Instagram. We have a neighbor not too far from us. She had just posted a picture of a painting, of her painting it, that was called The Light on My Pathway. But I was like, this needs to be in the house for the baby. As time went on, we did start kind of having those conversations around, are we going to try again? We had the genetic tests on Elena, and there wasn't anything there. So when we talked to the fertility clinic, it was very much like I need an answer quickly, because I still had a window of, do we try one more? That one worked. And then, I mean, in terms of the delivery, I was induced a little bit early just to give them a little bit more control. Finally, we go down to delivery, and I think that was like, now I'm holding a baby and I'm in a wheelchair and I'm being taken out of the ward that we were at with Elena. And that time I was being wheeled out with a box to go to the car, and this time I had a baby and I was going to the recovery unit, and was one of the things that really taught me how much opposite emotions can exist at the same time, because I have never been so sad and so happy at the same time.
I think everything we went through just gives you gratitude
Yeah.
for what you have, even when it is difficult. And just even, I think navigating that balance between not forgetting what you've gone through and what you've lost, but also understanding that life moves forward. And
Yeah.
My journey of loss is different than Patricia's, and it doesn't mean that hers is right and mine is wrong. They're just different journeys, and it's important, I think, as partners to also have empathy for the other person and what they're going through, and try to see what they're going through their eyes.
I mean, as we've moved forward and as things have come on, we also have a painting by Jason Carter that has 4 bears and the 3 Sisters mountain in the background, because we have 2 living daughters and 1 that passed away, so there's 3 sisters, and then the 4 bears are sort of our living family right now, but she's kind of always in the background there.